KUAM News Headlines is presented by Calvo's Insurance, a legacy of trust, serving Micronesia since 1938. Matson and the Adahi Tano Program. Cars Plus, home of Guam's first and only lifetime limited powertrain warranty. McDonald's of Guam, I'm loving it. And King's Restaurants, always open, always local, and serving up favorites for over 40 years.
Coming up on Prime Time, 2 new deaths related to COVID-19 are recorded today, bringing the total to 9. Plus, the public health medical director is frustrated with many not taking the stay-home directive seriously. And with the surge in coronavirus cases, another isolation facility has now been secured.
It's always difficult to share this news with all of you, but this afternoon, Guam recorded 2 more COVID-related deaths, one of them hitting close to home for the Guam Memorial Hospital.
Governor Lulian Guerrero says the latest COVID-related casualties occurred only minutes apart at 12:30 this afternoon.
Our first patient was 61 years old. On August 14, he was transferred from GRMC to GMH after testing positive for COVID-19.
He had existing comorbidities which were complicated by COVID. The second casualty was a 62-year-old woman who had been at the hospital for more than 1 month.
She was admitted to GMH on July 10th and had multiple comorbidities. She was also a registered nurse and a colleague who worked in the ICU and ER at GMH for most of her career and dedicated her life to helping patients in our community.
In the past 6 days alone, there have been 4 COVID-related deaths on island.
This is why I am strongly adamant that the stay-at-home order remains in effect. If we do not do anything now, if we do not commit to the stay-at-home order, I am afraid we will have more rough days ahead of us.
As we all wait for the dreaded COVID case count for today, as of last night, the number of positive cases on Guam was 984. There were 77 new cases reported last night. More than half of those new cases were between the age group of 20 to 39. The number of COVID patients at the hospital is nearing 30. The Guam legislature confirms 2 more employees have tested positive for COVID. According to a media release, both are in home isolation. The last day they were inside the Guam Congress building was on Wednesday, August 12th. That was the day before the facility was closed as a result of its first positive case. Currently, there are 9 positive cases at the Guam legislature. A 4th employee from the Port Authority of Guam has tested positive for the coronavirus. General Manager Rory Respicio says he received the results of the 30 employees tested as a result of contact tracing for the 3rd positive port employee, and all came back negative. However, they received notification from an employee who was not connected to any of the prior cases testing positive. Respicio says they identified the employees who had been in contact with the latest case, and testing was done. Additionally, 2 GPD officers tested positive and 1 GDOE employee. Guam on the brink of breaking 1,000 confirmed COVID cases. The Guam Memorial Hospital reaching the tipping point, and just this afternoon, 2 more COVID-related casualties. Public Health's medical director says enough is enough.
Dr. Janameng Lotnya, Public Health's medical director, delivering a firestorm of frustration as Guam's front line in the war against COVID has failed.
It's out of control because the people are out of control. No matter what we've done, ultimately, it's the front line, which is the community. It was up to them to fight the war. And how do you think, kick it around, how do you think they did? Doesn't look too good.
First, it was the island's elderly population at the most risk. But the numbers have shown an alarming increase in young adults. In the past 24 hours alone, they comprise a little over half of Guam's recent positive cases.
We started saying, do what you need to do to protect your family, protect your relatives. I'll tell you what, you better do it to protect yourself, because the ones out there committing the infractions are the ones that's getting it and dying. The old people are staying home.
Ultimately, she says Guam has let its guard down. The hospital and isolation facilities are filling up. People are holding protests, social gatherings, complaining about staying home, And yet healthcare workers are overworked trying to contain COVID.
There's nothing more we can do. What you're seeing now, thank your community for it. We didn't do this. And we've done everything we can to equip our hospitals and equip our clinics and equip our providers and public service announcement. Finally, enough already. Do what you know you need to do. And if you don't do it, you're going to have exactly what you've got right now. I mean, congratulations. If this is what your goal was while you're preaching about constitutional rights, to me, it does just quit killing people, quit making them sick. We're getting pretty tired and pretty fed up working 24 hours a day trying to clean up these messes. And then people looking at us saying, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? What are you going to do? You did this. We didn't do this. You did this. So, that's the message. And you're going to get whatever you invest. If you don't wear your mask, socially distance, and do what you're supposed to do, this is what you get.
Public Health's medical director stresses that if people don't start heeding the warnings of wearing masks, washing hands, practicing social distancing, and staying home, it's only going to get worse.
There's going to come a point where the governor isn't going to be able to clean up the mess as easily as you think. And I don't think any of us want to revisit Italy and New York and Guam. So if you're not afraid to go out and if you're not afraid to spread it, then you haven't gotten the message. You don't get it.
The chorus of concern about island residents failing to follow the governor's directives has the leader of the band of physicians leading the fight against COVID saying we could stay in PCOR 1 way past Friday's cutoff date.
It's the same sad love song.
Every patient come in is that I went over to my sister's house and one of my cousin's house, have dinner, and then a week later I got a phone call that my cousin, my sister is positive.
Chair of the governor's physicians advisory group, Dr. Hoa Nguyen, is turning up the volume of concern.
That's why it's very important for us. We have, this is KUAM, we have a lot of extended family at this point. But I would ask everybody, extended family, if you don't live in the same house that you are living, try to FaceTime or WhatsApp or something for about a week or two, so we can get over this cycle here. But if we keep hearing that we go to dinner at a relative house, man, we never go get out this hole.
And right now, according to Dr. Nguyen, in order to get Guam out of this abyss, we have to meet 4 triggers to move out of PCOR 1 into PCOR 2. Those triggers are 1, a downward trend of confirmed cases. 2, Guam hospitals being able to treat all inpatients without resorting to crisis standards of care due to an increase in COVID cases. 3, Guam must have the capacity to test everyone with symptoms. And 4, public health must have the capacity to conduct adequate monitoring of contact tracing. According to Dr. Hoa, it's clear we're not seeing a downward trend in cases.
Hospitalization.
Hospitalization, we're going to meet that one.
Testing.
Testing, as of last night, since we have actually we have now a consensus within all the lab, GRMC, public health, and diagnostic lab. So we have more ability now. I wish that's done before, and so we can combine the 3 of them. We can do probably 500-600 tests a day. That's what it should be combined in the past. So I think the testing would be okay. It's just the first 2. We are not okay in the first 2. Mm-hmm. The tracing and the contact, PAC feel like we're still behind.
And if the community doesn't change its tune anytime soon, the PCOR 1 lockdown will likely continue.
Really stay home.
The PAC plans to reach out to village mayors to help ensure that residents are following the stay-at-home order. The government has secured another isolation facility to meet the increasing demand for COVID patients. According to Dr. Felix Cabrera of the Governor's Physicians Advisory Group, the Ocean View Garden Court is now on board. The additional isolation facility was desperately needed as the number of positive cases continue to rise. The government is also working to bring online another facility.
That's actually being worked on very, very actively right now because it's a major bottleneck for us right now in terms of it's a bottleneck that once that's open, then GMH has a better flow and turnover rate, and also for GRMC that also helps because there's a bottleneck there. Now there's this concentrating of patients, right? COVID for non-COVID and so forth. And that takes a tremendous amount of coordination to do it safely. So I don't want to undermine or undersell the importance of that. And so that's really, really important. Now,
Dr. Cabrera stresses the isolation facility is an option, not a mandate for COVID patients. Additionally, talks are underway to work toward one consolidated isolation facility. We've got more news you need to know after the break.
Get up-to-the-minute news, plus access to alerts, streaming radio, promotions, and more on your mobile device by downloading the KUAM News mobile app, available at the App Store now.
It makes myself and it makes my team members very proud to work for an organization that has been on island for many years with its focus on reliability, dependability, and commitment to the communities that they operate in.
Matson's a great corporate citizen to the community.
We all benefit from any sort of environmental commitment we make. One of the ways that we do that is with our Adahi Utano program. There's action behind it, and so action breeds commitment.
With the Kaimana Hila coming to Guam, this brings a new age and modernization to the island.
It's exciting for me because it's a brand new ship and we can carry more freight into the islands. It just shows growth for Guam and Micronesia.
Matson would be nothing without its customers, and we hope to continue to serve you for decades to come.
While we've all been through a lot over the years,
typhoons, earthquakes, and now COVID-19,
we've been able to get through these together.
For more than 80 years,
KUAM Insurance has been protecting your homes, your businesses,
and the health of your family.
We are here today and we'll be here tomorrow.
There are better days ahead. Tomorrow's a new day filled with hope and choices.
The possibilities of what we can achieve together are limitless.
Let's continue to work together to ensure a brighter tomorrow for all of us.
KUAM News, winner of the 2020 Regional Edward R. Murrow Award for Excellence in Social Media.
Welcome back. A unanimous vote by the Guam Education Board extends GDOE Superintendent John Fernandez's contract through June 2025. Fernandez tells KUAM on the Link this morning how he will continue leading the largest agency through the battle against COVID-19.
We're going to have to make a decision at some point as to how we plan to provide a continuous, stable learning environment for our kids. And that's where we are.
Superintendent John Fernandez says he expected this year to be unpredictable. And now with Guam reporting more positive COVID-19 cases than ever before, the time has come to determine the long-term district-wide plan for educating our island youth. An immediate shift last week closed public schools and ordered employees to telework. As well, students had to take to their devices for online distance learning. Fernandez says the next step is to work with the village mayors to make contact with the families and students that haven't participated in instructional learning this year.
Of course, one of the challenges right now is the public health situation, but we're going to do what we can to work with the mayor's offices to make that contact happen.
Other challenges the department is faced with include students without internet access and the need for food services. In addressing these, Fernandez says they have asked public health for guidance on 3 matters.
Number 1 is to ensure that we are able to start up our food distribution, which we hope to start starting on a Monday, which is August 31st, and do it. And with that, that's the commodity distribution, where we are going to be working with mayors through their villages to push the food commodities out to their residents. We're also working on getting clearance with regard to the hard copy distribution. I think they just required us to submit a plan for them to review and approve. So we're working to get that done. And then the third item is that, with the ongoing pandemic and shutdown, there is still some business that needs to get done, including a lot of procurement, which is really the purchasing of more laptops, the purchasing of more technology.
This is week 2 of remote learning. As this is likely the new norm, GDOE has lined up a series of regional virtual meetings for parents beginning next week to answer any questions or concerns. Reporting for Guam's News Network, I'm Adriana Cotero.
After 1 week of face-to-face classroom learning, all Catholic schools are now relying on remote learning with online courses under the governor's executive order. Catholic School Superintendent Dr. Juan Flores says the transition to at-home instructions has been a productive change, saying this is probably the best example of how a true partnership can take place between teachers and parents.
That 1 week of being in class face-to-face really helped a lot of schools prepare for this situation. It's not ideal. It's not what we really want as far as good education is concerned, but we're definitely more prepared for it. I want to say that even after a week and a half or only a week and a half, I think the attitude in most of the schools is, while they have these plans in place, they're more than open to continue to improve those plans.
According to Dr. Flores, one of the challenges instructors are faced with is learning to teach from a distance approach.
One of the things that the schools are challenged by is to make sure that they don't just give assignments. Even with hard copy programs that we're doing right now, that's the reason why the teachers are calling the students, is that if the students have challenges, they want to instruct them. There's got to be instruction going on. We're not just giving them assignments and then saying, okay, you're on your own.
You can watch the interview with Dr. Flores on our YouTube channel. The 3 congressional candidates squaring off in a forum sponsored by the Guam Chamber. As expected, the topics focused on business and economic issues. One question was, what would you do to help diversify the economy? Here's a sampling of the responses.
I have argued in numerous venues that we need a knowledge-based economy for diversification. Knowledge economy is based upon the quantity, quality, and accessibility of information more than just the means of production. Young entrepreneurs know this, and based on research in coral reefs, biosciences, aquaculture, IT, almost any field combined with the information infrastructure in Guam offers a huge array of opportunities for high-tech jobs.
Our bill for native contracting will allow for our local contractors to be able to avail of $30 billion more in federal contracts throughout the United States, bringing those federal dollars into Guam. Our bill for National Heritage Area designations that will allow for our sites, World War II sites, our cultural sites, even our natural sites to become eligible for federal dollars will not only bring in the federal money to support those sites, but it will also upgrade them and upkeep them for our visitors to be able to come, respect, and enjoy.
Couldn't we wrest control and have greater jurisdiction and self-governance over things like our maritime resources? Could we get around the Commerce Clause and other restrictive federal policies to partner, as my other colleague had mentioned here, partner with the Sinam? I've been working on this One Marianas initiative for the greater part of 8 years. Couldn't we develop a viable fisheries industry? Couldn't we develop tax and tariff-free trade between us and the jurisdiction to the north of us so that we have strategic commodities?
You can watch the Congressional Forum streaming on our Facebook page. Senators are done reviewing the proposed spending plans for education-related agencies and have moved on to health-related departments, including GMH and Public Health. They will pause the budget talks tomorrow to meet in session at the Congress Hall on a bill by Speaker Tina Munoz-Barnes to cancel this Saturday's primary election. Senator Kelly Marsh Taitano has asked the AG for a legal opinion on what to do with votes already cast if the balloting is scrapped. She also asked if there would be violations of federal election law if the congressional primaries dropped. As of late today, the AG's office said it was still working on that opinion. Well, stay tuned. We're back with more after the break.
Your community calendar is brought to you by Taco Bell. Whether it's your first meal or your fourth meal, we've got you covered. Taco Bell, live Más.
This is a bag, but for Steve, this bag gives him food cred. Because now everyone knows that when they have that craving, or they're just looking for the perfect deal, well, they just need to follow Steve.
Follow him all the way to the new McTerry Deluxe at McDonald's. It's an all-beef patty smothered with teriyaki sauce topped with lettuce and tomato on a sesame seed bun. For a limited time, price and participation may vary.
Our biggest SUV, the Palisade, and our smallest SUV, the Venue. Remember, it's not the size of the dog in your adventure, but the size of the adventure in your dog. Big or small, it's better in a Hyundai SUV.
When your potential is limitless, your experiences are endless. Introducing the new GTA Multi-Line Limitless plan. Explore island life with no limitations and never stress about running out of data or minutes. Enjoy unlimited local talk, text, and data, high-quality music and video streaming, and connections to loved ones on island and in the US and CNMI. Plus, $5 savings for each additional line sign-up. Experience your data plan your way. GTA, we start with you.
Nachos come with rules, like don't take the fully loaded chips, don't hog the guac, and never take the last one. But with the Grande Nachos box from Taco Bell, you can break all the rules, because this meal's all yours.
Welcome back. With COVID cases in the 20 to 39 age group continuing to rise, KUAM spoke with local powerlifter Big Ton Salas, and he says if people his age think they're invincible or immune to the coronavirus, they've got another thing coming.
So I recently squatted 711.
Local powerlifter Anthony Big Ton Salas was tested for COVID at the last mass community testing over 10 days ago. He just got his results yesterday, and those results, negative. But those results were over 10 days old. And Salas tells The Link his 8-year-old son tested positive for the virus, and he thinks he caught it from his son after he was tested. And while Salas has gotten gold medals for powerlifting over 700 pounds, he says COVID was a weight he almost couldn't bear. And that's a story he wants to share with his peers in the 20 to 39 age group.
I know we feel that we're young and COVID's not going to get us, but man, the way I felt, losing my appetite, losing my smell, it's something like I wouldn't play around with. You know, if I get better, I'm still going to be afraid to go places just knowing how bad I felt. Like I wouldn't wish that upon anybody, not even my greatest enemy. It's a really hard feeling to deal with. The chills are ridiculous. The headaches, man, those are the worst.
Salas says as a 30-year-old guy who spends hours in the gym on any given day, he didn't think he had to worry about catching the coronavirus. And the numbers show that those in the 20 to 39 age group are catching COVID and, according to public health, spreading it too. Since Friday, there have been 103 new cases in the 20 to 39 demographic.
I felt that I wasn't going to catch it. I felt that me being younger, it wasn't going to bother me. I was doing things that I knew I shouldn't be doing, like going places where there's people, a lot of people. And I kind of let my guard down. Took my son with me, and he probably could have caught it when I took him somewhere.
Salas said COVID has had him down for the count for 9 days. He's begging his peers to follow the lockdown orders and to do it for our island's Manamco.
You know, if you don't need to go anywhere, just stay home.
Stay home!
The elders, man.
Right. For Guam's News Network, Chris Barnett reports.
When you want to make the most of your time, waiting in line should be last on your mind. Introducing Skip Lino, the most convenient way to visit Docomo Pacific. Simply download the Skip Lino app on your device, set your region to Guam or Northern Mariana Islands, find Docomo Pacific, and select the location you'd like to visit. Spend less time in line and more time with the people who matter most with the Skip Lino app. Can't wait to see you soon. Docomo Pacific, better together.
Small businesses are an important foundation in our island's growing economy. They provide essential goods and services to our community while preserving local traditions and creating new job opportunities. Your responses to the 2020 Census of Guam will help small businesses receive the information they need to thrive for years to come. Respond today. Together, we can make a difference.
My child, Econo, listen. The winds are singing. The ocean is roaring. And the trees are dancing. Our island is moving once again. In Afamolik, our unity has carried us through the stillness of today. And now, the spirit of Hafaday is yearning for our friends to come home.
Nana, is it time to bring all our friends back now?
Hungan, yes. It's time for the world to give us a moment together.
Welcome back. Before we close out the news tonight, here is your latest round of birthday shout-outs from the Cold Stone Creamery Birthday Club.
On August 26th, we say happy birthday to Lexi, more formally known to her friends and family as Alexia Ann Sablan Diego. Virtual hugs and kisses from the whole family, and they say enjoy your special day. Happy birthday number 24 to Peter Espinosa from your loving family. From Dad, Mom, Nina, Desi, and Danny. Happy birthday number 9 to Gabriella Reese McDonald. Happy birthday, Gabby. Wishing you a lifetime of happiness and good health. May all your dreams and wishes come true. We love you with all our heart and soul. Love your family. And Matala Jude, happy birthday number 1. Wishing you a fun, safe, and enjoyable day. God bless you, handsome. From your Guerrero, Desu, Lidiali, Nedlik, Hirwa, and Rios Familia. Happy birthday each and every one.
And that's it for me here on Primetime. Up next, Nestor Lecanto with In Full Zoom.
In Full Zoom is presented to you by Calvo Enterprises, Inc.
Half a day, everyone. Nestor Lecanto here with another edition of In Full Zoom, and I'm pleased to introduce our guest today, and we'll be talking about Workforce Opportunities Reimagined, a conference at the Guam Community College next week. And of course, first of all, Dr. Mary Okada, the president of the Guam Community College. We have Dave De La Sola, the very popular director of the Department of Labor, and Wayne Bigler is representing Cabris Marine. Thanks for joining us, everyone.
Thanks for having us.
Dave, thank you.
Let me start with you, Dr. Okada. Tell us a little bit more about what's behind the Workforce Opportunities Reimagined Conference and explain what its purpose is.
So the Guam Community College team identified an opportunity whereby we can engage in a conversation with individuals who are not only unemployed, but looking to upskill so that they can avail of job opportunities that are in the horizon or that are currently available so that they can get back to work. And so with this reimagining conference, it is going to be a virtual conference, but it will bring together individuals from different areas, different occupational areas that will identify where the gaps are currently in our labor force and identifying tools that we can upskill them with either through the community college or other educational institutions like the Guam Trades Academy or the University of Guam or other training programs here on island so that people can get back to work. So our team has put together this virtual conference, and on the last day there will be an opportunity for a virtual job fair. So this is an exciting opportunity for us. Although we can't meet people in person, this is now another innovative way to bring the information to the residents so that they can identify what's what's up front, what's available to them, so that we can all reimagine what our new workforce is going to look like.
Yeah, and I imagine that after this pandemic, it will look quite different. Dave, can you tell us about the Labor Department's involvement?
Yes, well, of course, we've always partnered very closely with Mary. I think it was in May of 2019, we attended a conference together, a summit from Governor Bullock, and we kind of laid a foundation to what we're in exactly what we're at now. How do we retool? How do we reimagine with the business kept in mind instead of just the employees that are coming in needing help? We needed to change. We needed to, instead of training people to come in, they get a certificate and then they go out looking for work with the certificate in hand. Let's train them to, let's get the businesses to find out what they need and get those people trained into those businesses so that they walk right into those jobs. And we've been gearing towards that with the boot camps and the training and the MDF funding and the apprenticeship and the GRAP programs. This is something that we are poised to take advantage of very quickly. And we have a great working relationship, a partnership that's very close. And we're chasing those dollars. I mean, between the MDF with the increase in the military H2s, increasing the funding for training. And we recently applied for a $12 million National Dislocated Worker Grant, which ties into the COVID and the high amount of layoffs. So we'll keep our fingers crossed with that. And then, of course, our regular WIOA and Dislocated Worker Grant monies. Hopefully, there will be plenty of money to be available for the public to retrain, re-educate, and recertify and go into a new or upskill their present occupation. And we're very excited to start this process.
All right, and Wayne, I know that Cabris Marine has been a very strong supporter of the program, the boot camp program, and also a beneficiary. Can you explain Cabris Marine's involvement?
Yeah, so as Dave and Dr. Okada alluded to, partnership, and really our owner Terry Watkins and our president Joe Cruz, considering the unique industry in ship repair, we wanted to ramp up and revitalize the ship repair industry here on the island. We started the apprenticeship program in 2012, and we've had I want to say 2014, we had upwards of 70 plus apprentices. And essentially through attrition, turnovers, guys figuring out, is this the kind of industry I would like to be in? Our president worked with Dr. Okada, and again, partnering with Department of Labor. What can we do to ensure that we have individuals from the community that want to partake and participate in this unique industry in ship repair? And so with the boot camp, it's a 12-week program. One of the things that we've committed to on 2 occasions, and we're actually working with GCC again to start a 3rd boot camp latter part of this year, is taking those unemployed, underemployed, no-skill individuals, commit them through this 12-week boot camp, and it's just been amazing. I mean, not only the skills that they obtain through the instructors. I mean, you have committed instructors at GCC, but understanding the industry lingo, to also that camaraderie that they built during the course of the 12-week program. So, one of the key points too is highlighting the 7 A's of work ethics: attitude, attendance, appearance. And it just has worked so well for us. And, we champion, the boot camp. And I think this upcoming opportunity for the September conference is, we want to help our island community and rely on ourselves, if you will, versus, yes, we need to avail of island resources, but in parallel, let's continue to train and build up and educate our local workforce.
In Full Zoom is presented to you by Calvo Enterprises, Inc. In Full Zoom is presented to you by Calvo Enterprises, Inc.
And Dr. Okada, you mentioned that word, and I like it a lot, upskill. Of course, a lot, if not the majority of the unemployed or underemployed right now are from the tourism industry. Can you explain a little bit more about upskill and how this conference is going to be able to help some of those who are now looking for work?
So one of the objectives of the conference really is to identify what areas in the job market need skilled workers, and how can you retool an individual who possibly, for example, if you're working in the hotel industry, we know that there's a lot of emphasis or focus now on disinfecting hotel rooms, and instead of being just being a housekeeper, why not get the certification to do disinfecting? Because we know that disinfecting is going to be here for a while. And so that's one area. Another thing is we know that there's a lot of emphasis right now on information technology. So identifying individuals maybe in the hotel industry again that may want to sharpen their skills and gain a new skill that includes information technology. And one of the things that Wayne talked about really was how the college has now included work ethic into the component of our training. Because one of the things we hear all the time is that you can train them, they can have the best certifications, but if they don't show up to work and they don't have the right attitude, then how are they going to help my business? And so in addition to reskilling or uptooling, we're now in the mindset of reshaping what the workforce on Guam is going to look like. So we're reshaping our economy, reshaping the industry based on what the interactions that we've been having over the past several months on how we can get folks back to work. We know that the construction industry continues to fall short in terms of skilled workers. And so we're hoping to identify individuals that may want to take some time now to get trained in the construction industry so that they can support the military buildup and all their activities and construction outside the fence as well. I mean, the college has been doing a lot of construction here. We will tell you, one of the major setbacks in some of the projects that we have here is not enough workers to support the contractor. So even as a trainer, we recognize that the workforce is limited in some areas. And so again, identifying those that are in industry that maybe want to upskill or retool so that they have other opportunities that they can pivot in the event that one component is not supported at the time, that they be able to pivot into another job almost immediately so that their continued employment to support their families is there.
Yeah, and Dave, speaking of pivoting on a longer term view, on a more long range view, one of the other things that this pandemic has taught us was that, and we've known this for a long time, that we can't continue to rely solely on tourism as our main industry, and diversification has always been, on the lips of our political leaders, but we have not yet fully developed a diversified economy. So what do we do? What comes first, the chicken or the egg? Do we train folks up for an industry and invite investors, or do we invite investors and then train up the workforce, or do we do it at the same time?
Well, I think now, while everybody is kind of sitting and in a lull, especially in the hospitality industry, I think a lot of employees have to think, what are they going to do? If they're going to survive in the hospitality industry, then they're going to have multiple skills, like Mary was saying. You can't just be one. You got to make yourself more valuable. And so now's the time to start training. Now's the time to start learning. And in the construction field, that we're always going to be bringing in H2s for the hard work and all that stuff. So my advice is to those employees that maybe want to get into that field, be the smart ones. Go into ship repair. They pay well. That's not going to go anywhere. It's going to be in big demand. Go into heavy equipment operation or truck driving. Those are stuff that are always going to be in demand throughout the life of this buildup. The worker's going to come and go, but we need the skilled people to operate those heavy machinery, those equipments that drive those trucks, the dump trucks, the heavy operators. You're going to need those all the time, and they pay well, and they don't work out in the hard sun like some of the other positions. So be smart, get into those kind of trades. There's the nursing, and then of course there's technology, as she was saying. If you upskill your abilities to take advantage of those types, you become more valuable. So when they call you back, they're going to call back the ones who can multitask, have multiple trains. So that's what we're pivoting now. That's what we're going to move into. And then there's lots of other entrepreneurial activities that, if you look in this current environment, is changing. You need to pivot to those quickly and adapt to those changes. And now's the time to get the training, the education, the skills, the certifications, and move forward with that. We're going to get those dollars in. It's coming in, and it's going to come in very quickly. And Mary's adjusting very quickly to adapt to those situations. That's what makes Guam so unique. We're small enough that we can adapt very quickly to the changes. And we need to look at the businesses and see, what is it that you need to continue? You need to adapt. We need to find those new opportunities and train people into those businesses. And these employees need to decide, you're going to stick it out, upskill, or retrain into a demand-driven occupation. And that's what we need to move towards very quickly.
In Full Zoom is presented to you by Calvo Enterprises, Inc.
Guam's auto appearance specialist, Elegant Reflections, has been providing the automotive industry with professional detailing and car care products at its highest quality, from complete detailing, full interior detailing, exterior detailing, headlamp restoration, hand washing, seat and carpet shampoo, engine degreasing, undercarriage cleaning, paint sealant, fabric protection, paint oxidation removal, and so much more. Visit us at our new location. Call 646-5555 for an appointment. Elegant Reflections, Guam's auto appearance specialist, over 20 years of experience.
We didn't set out to make a hit.
Baby's been good to me, baby's been good to me. So many let me on my feet, so push let me on my feet.
We just sang our song. Real bourbon, no apologies. Wild turkey. It'll find you.
When you want to make the most of your time, waiting in line should be last on your mind. Introducing Skip Lino, the most convenient way to visit Docomo Pacific. Simply download the Skip Lino app on your device, set your region to Guam or Northern Mariana Islands, find Docomo Pacific, and select the location you'd like to visit. Spend less time in line and more time with the people who matter most with the Skip Lino app. Can't wait to see you soon. Docomo Pacific. Better together.
In Full Zoom is presented to you by Calvo Enterprises, Inc.
Yeah, and Wayne, from the employer's perspective, could you elaborate more on why you would encourage employers to take advantage, or at least keep tabs on this kind of a program and hire the folks that come out of it?
Yeah, so again, with the program, it's, the Dr. Okada and Dave spoke on, upscale, multitasking. And really, one thing about our island, we're resilient people, we're ambidextrous. And, so long as we put our heart and soul as far as wanting to learn that new task, and be able to multitask, it really benefits the companies. And then for our private sector partners, our boot camp, our apprenticeship, how we've grown and expanded, and the continuing education we provide to our island community through our apprentices. It speaks volumes as far as where Guam is heading. So, I encourage employers to participate in this upcoming conference, and, also invite the local community. As Dave mentioned, we're talking about hospitality, but now it's time to think outside of the box. This is unprecedented times with the whole pandemic, and we got to be flexible and open-minded to, at the end of the day, we got to take care of our loved ones at home. So, what other skills can I gain? What other trades can I learn? And, I think with this conference, the programs such as the boot camp, there's many boot camps available over at Guam Community College, and again, partnership with, the Department of Labor. So it's just, with our island community, and then, with our private companies, I can't stress enough the importance as far as how we grow together, build together, and become educated together as an island community.
Yeah, and Dr. Okada mentioned it. She alluded to the fact that the training is not just for a specific trade, but it's also the training is to make them a better employee, to come in on time, to be prompt, to be respectful. Can you elaborate on that and how that's worked out for your company and the graduates that you guys hire?
Yeah, it's worked great for the most part. As far as with the 12-week course, it's not just a specific course. For example, you got the different trades from welding, carpentry, electrical. There's OSHA training. So, safety industry, safety, and the work ethics. Our guys, the graduates, they were very specific. That was one of the more challenging classes they've taken at GCC. So, it's again, the attitude, the work attendance, the 7 A's is what we really stressed on, and it has been very beneficial to us. Just seeing with the improved attitude as a general with all the apprentices that graduated from that boot camp, and then are now apprentices with us. So they continue to work with us, earn while you learn. That's the whole apprentice motto. And, they're continuing their education with community college.
All right. And Dr. Okada, wanted to circle back to the conference itself. I think it's going to be on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday of next week. Can you just elaborate on what the different components are going to be on those days? And it's open to everybody, right?
That's correct. And so it will begin Wednesday, September 2nd from 9 to 12. And that will be the opening and the plenary sessions. And so basically the framework for that day is where we are going. Thursday, September 3rd, again, 9 to 12 would be how will we get there? So it's kind of like a strategic plan. How do we get there? And including report outs and breakout sessions. And then on Friday, September 4th from 9 to 12, it's a discussion on who's going to get us there. Who are the education partners, and different presentations from each educational group. And then in the afternoon from 1 to 3 will be the virtual workforce meetup and the career fair. So that kind of outlines, we didn't want to have it continuous. We know people are zoomed out because there's a lot of conversation happening on Zoom, but This is an opportunity for people really to engage, take some time and look to see what is ahead. And so by providing it in small snippets, it allows you to reflect on the previous day and perhaps engage in the conversation the subsequent day, which eventually leads to building your momentum, building your effort to actually participate in the career fair component, because that's going to be the end result of it. Again, laying the strategic plan is of who we are, where we're going, and then identifying how we're going to get there, and hopefully providing opportunities for individuals to retool for workforce of the future.
Yeah, for the career fair, will you have companies that will be on hand to, talk to prospective employees?
That's correct.
Okay, who are some of those?
I think we're still building it right now. I don't have the list right in front of me, but we can send that to you, and we'll have it available and posted on our website.
Okay, great. And Dave, how would you, what would you say rather to prospective employees out there? There's this whole idea early on that, they're getting free money from the federal government for not working, and so they're not interested in finding a job. But obviously that's not true. I think people, for the most part, do want to work. So tell them about this conference and why they should attend.
Well, I'll have my apprenticeship person, Phyllis, and the person who runs my employment development, Therese Camacho, all there so that you can meet with them and get an idea. This is perfect timing to lay the seed for an employee and for the business to get together and discuss with Mary and the GCC what they need. What are they looking for? She can adapt. She can make new courses. I like working with her because she gets results. When we put people into her programs, they come out with jobs. They come out with new skills, and they come out with certifications. That's what I like, those kind of outcomes with my federal dollars. And that's what Mary does. And we don't know what your needs are until you come to these conferences and voice. What is it that you're looking for? What is it that you want to do? And businesses, what is it that you're looking for, and what is it that you want to do? And we can start putting those together and design programs. We can design our dollars so that we get the outcomes, because I'm not wasting any more dollars putting people training and then they have the certificate and walking around shopping for a business to pick them up. Those are gone. What we need are those when you finish a program, you go right into a job that's been designed for that program. And that's what Mary understands. That's what Mr. Bigler's company is all about. We've had great success. Those are poster childs for what we're trying to do. And we want to do that and expand that out to other businesses, other opportunities, and other careers. And hopefully we'll start getting people together to start getting a good idea of where we are going to lay out this next year and develop those kind of programs and boot camps and education certifications for those needs. And I can't stress it enough. Get the word out, start listening, start preparing. What else do you have to do? So you might as well start getting and start thinking and generate those brain thoughts on what is your next plan of action. And that's what we're trying to get.
In Full Zoom is presented to you by Calvo Enterprises, Inc.
MTO Maintenance will now completely sanitize your home, office, or business with state-of-the-art commercial sprayers. For over 30 years, MTO Maintenance has been committed to the health and safety of our customers. And now, more than ever, a clean home, office, carpets, and furniture is a necessity to our island. Give us a call today. Stay healthy and stay safe, Guam.
Call 647-6861 for an appointment.
No matter what size adventure you're into, it's better in a Hyundai. And introducing the Venue, the newest member of the Hyundai SUV family.
Nachos come with rules, like don't take the fully loaded chips, don't hog the guac, and never take the last one. But with the Grande Nachos box from Taco Bell, you can break all the rules, because this meal's all yours.
In Full Zoom is presented to you by Calvo Enterprises, Inc.
And of course, you've been immersed in this unemployment program, but that money's not going to last forever. I mean, we've got up until December, and the likelihood of that continuing is pretty slim at this point.
Yeah, so, utilize this opportunity, get my money to get you in a comfort area so that you can start planning your future. Because yes, it's going to run out. The money's not going to last forever. And you want to come out of it better than where you started. That's the whole intent of this whole conference, is to let's get yourself into a better place than where you started. And I applaud Mary and Mr. Bigler for their continued work with trying to get these goals accomplished.
All right. And Wayne, can you just, from your perspective, encourage businesses to participate in this as well?
Yeah, definitely. I encourage the businesses, as Dave mentioned, one thing that has made our program so successful is that we've committed to hiring those who completed the boot camp. And again, the boot camp is taking that unskilled individual to a semi-skilled individual. They graduate, go through the apprenticeship program, continue that skill level, because we want to continue to cycle. That one of the reasons why we've wanted to expand on our apprenticeship program is that just to bridge that generational gap. A lot of our journey workers are the old-time ship repair SRF workers during the civil service days, and so we've been beneficial that they continue to work even though they're past retirement age, and they're helping our apprentices learn the trade. And at the same token, our apprentices are also sharing like what they learned in class with our journey workers. So, it's in order for us to succeed, we want to have that collective participation and cooperation, because last thing we want is for an individual to go to a boot camp, go through all these certifications, and then like Dave alluded to, excuse me, they're walking around shopping for jobs like, hey, this is my certification. So, I implore with all the, private employers out there, please participate in this. And, you won't be disappointed, especially with the program Dr. Okada has put together and the team she has standing behind her.
All right, thank you. And Dr. Okada, we got about a couple of minutes left, so I'm going to give you the last word. Please encourage those unemployed and underemployed out there to come to tune into the conference next week.
So I'd like to encourage everyone to participate in the Workforce Opportunity Reimagined Conference. This is your opportunity. This is your opportunity to step up. This is your opportunity to get trained and stand at the front of the line in workforce development and employment. This is your opportunity. Don't let it go away. Don't let it go to waste, because we are providing the support necessary. We are providing employers who are looking for skilled workers. They are going to guide you through this process, through a boot camp that is going to get you employment. So the 34,000 people that are unemployed right now that are currently under Dave's program, this is your chance to get what it takes so that you are not in the front of the line for unemployment. You are in the front of the line for true employment, for sustainability, for your family, and for our island community. So please come out and support and get your training. And for the businesses, please come out and support this conference. Sizus Maasi.
Well said. Thank you very much. All right, that's our In Full Zoom for this week. I'm Nestor Lecanto. That's Dr. Mary Okada of GCC, Dave Della Sola of the Department of Labor, and
In Full Zoom is presented to you by Calvo Enterprises, Inc.